Boy, so the speed app development is moving at right now is, well, it's pretty astonishing, frankly.
It really is.
And then you throw generative AI into the mix. Uh, Feels like strapping a rocket booster onto everything. It creates these like wild new possibilities.
Yeah.
But also, a whole new set of challenges for developers, for us builders.
It's a huge shift, really.
Mm.
We're not just coding features anymore. Now it's about designing these intelligent interactions.
Right.
But, to really get the most out of AI, developers need more than just the algorithms themselves. They need, like, a whole ecosystem of tools that work together.
Which kind of brings us neatly to a name most people listening have probably heard, Firebase.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
For years, it's been this, well, foundational platform
Okay.
for keeping users engaged.
Mm.
It's quietly powering something like 70 billion daily app instances
That number is just staggering.
across pretty much every device you can imagine.
Yeah.
It just gives you a sense of the scale, the footprint.
Absolutely. And that scale isn't just, a big number. It shows how deeply integrated it is into how modern apps are built.
Yeah.
And that huge adoption makes Firebase, well, a really logical place to launch this next step.
And this next step,
Wow.
announced at Google Cloud Next recently.
Ah.
Wasn't it? It feels like a really significant leap.
It is.
Firebase is basically transforming into what they're calling an end-to-end AI application platform.
Mm-hmm.
So think about that, moving beyond just, say, user engagement to becoming the central place for actually creating intelligent apps.
Exactly. The ambition seems to be providing like the complete toolkit, everything you need for the whole life cycle of building an AI-powered app.
From start to finish.
Yeah, from that first little spark of an idea right through building it, getting it out there, and then, improving it over time.
And right at the heart of this seems to be Firebase Studio. It's in preview now, right?
That's right, yeah.
Sort of the new control room. A cloud-based development space, and it's supercharged by Gemini.
Yeah, and what I think is really compelling is the vision behind it, bringing all the essential tools together in one place.
Simplified.
Exactly. Prototyping, building, deploying the goal is for all that to happen right inside Firebase Studio. And the benefit is clear, right? Speeding up development.
Yeah, letting teams focus on the actual innovation part of their AI apps, not just the plumbing.
Precisely.
And we've seen Google roll out some interesting AI stuff over the last year, haven't we? Like Gemini and Firebase itself, GenKit, Project IDX.
Mm-hmm.
And it really sounds like Firebase Studio is meant to pull all those powerful pieces together.
That's the key, I think. It's the synergy, getting these tools working together smoothly. That integration really promises to streamline how we, bring AI ideas into reality.
Okay, so that's our mission for this deep dive then. Let's really unpack this revamped Firebase, dig into the features of Firebase Studio,
Yeah.
and get a good handle on what this actually means for anyone out there who wants to build AI-powered apps efficiently and, effectively. All right, so let's jump into Firebase Studio itself. Where do you even begin exploring this new environment? What's the starting point?
Well, the entry point sounds pretty welcoming, actually. They're offering over 60 templates, which is, a nice head start.
Oh, Kisti templates, yeah.
But what really caught my eye is this thing called the App Prototyping Agent.
Oh,
It lets you basically describe your app idea, the UI, the data structure, even the AI bits, just using like normal language.
natural language.
Yeah, natural language, images, interactive tools. The idea is it cuts down that initial brainstorming and design time dramatically. You're focusing on the concept, not the code, at least initially.
Wow. Okay. So instead of battling code just to see what an idea looks like, you can almost sketch it out with words.
Pretty much. And then you can take that prototype, that sketch, and deploy it straight to Firebase app hosting.
Just like that.
Yeah, the whole emphasis seems to be on really rapid iteration. Get your concepts live quickly, see how they feel.
Get feedback,
Yeah.
presumably.
Exactly. Get them into a live environment for immediate feedback, real-world testing. Super valuable in those early stages.
And that feedback loop sounds like it's built right in. You can share the live prototypes easily, monitor usage, and see detailed analytics in the Firebase console. That speed sounds like a game changer.
It really does. It shrinks that cycle between having an idea and actually, validating it. You're not just building in a vacuum.
Right.
You're getting insights based on actual usage almost right away.
Right.
And then when you are ready to shift from prototype to actual code,
Yeah.
The transition is designed to be, well,
They're
seamless.
saying like a single click
Yeah.
from prototype to code, all inside Firebase Studio. That sounds like it gets rid of a lot of the usual setup pain.
That frictionless move, yeah, that's a
Oh.
big plus. The context you built, prototyping the UI, the APIs, it should all just carry over. No recreating stuff.
Saves a ton of time.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the workspace itself inside Studio. It sounds like it's packed. First up, assisted coding using Gemini. What does that actually do for a developer?
Think of it like having an AI pair programmer right there with you in the editor.
Okay.
It can help write new code faster, spot bugs, help fix them quicker, even generate documentation while you're working.
Wow.
It sort of shifts the workflow, from just typing everything manually to more like guided creation, frees you up for the harder problems.
Yeah, I can see that being a massive productivity boost.
Yeah.
Okay, then there's easy app import. Seems straightforward enough.
Yeah, lets you pull in your existing code, whether it's on your machine or like in a Git repo.
Right.
But what's also cool is you can then create reusable templates from those projects you import.
Ah, okay, so you build something once.
And you can sort of templatize it for the next project or share it with the team, turn successes into patterns, speeds up future work.
Nice. So avoiding reinventing the wheel each time. Now, Firebase always gave you decent control, and it looks like Studio keeps that with full-stack customization. What does that mean now with AI in the picture?
Right, this is about giving you that fine-grained control over all the pieces. You can tweak the AI model logic, orchestrate how different AI agents work together,
Okay.
define your core business rules, manage your data layers. It's offering flexibility, but still within that unified environment.
And you're not being thrown into something totally alien, are you? They mentioned integrating with tools developers already use, even access to the Open VSX registry.
Yeah, that's super important for adoption, right? If you can use your familiar tools and extensions, the learning curve is way lower.
Definitely.
And OpenVSX, yeah, that's that huge marketplace of extensions, plugins, basically, that add all sorts of functionality to VS Code and similar editors. So lots of options there.
Good stuff. And deployment. When it's time to get the app out there, they're offering flexible deployment, so not just Firebase's own cloud.
Exactly. You've got choices. Deploy to Firebase's infrastructure, sure. Or use Google Cloud Run for its scalability. Or even, deploy to your own custom setup if you need to.
That adaptability is key.
Yeah, it means Studio can fit a wider range of projects and deployment needs.
And trying it out, the preview offer sounds pretty good.
Yeah, up to 3 free workspaces. That's great for individuals or small teams to just kick the tires.
And more if you're in the Google Developer Program.
Right, up to 30 workspaces then. So it makes it pretty accessible for developers to start playing around.
Okay, so Firebase Studio sounds like this really complete dev environment. But the AI integration isn't just about the initial coding, right? There are these specific AI agents helping out too.
Yeah, that's another interesting angle, how AI is being embedded to help with tasks that are often, tedious or complex. These Gemini Code Assist agents in Studio are a prime example.
Okay, let's break those down. First, a migration agent for Java code. That sounds useful for legacy systems.
Oh, absolutely. Moving Java code between versions or platforms can be a real headache. An AI agent that can help automate that, check compatibility, reduce the manual effort, that could save a lot of time and errors.
Yeah, definitely. Then there's an AI testing agent. This one sounds cool. Adversarial testing, scenario-based testing. What's the idea there?
So normal testing often checks if the app works how it's supposed to work, right?
Right, the happy path.
Exactly. Adversarial testing is where the AI tries to break it, throws weird inputs, maybe malicious stuff, trying to find security holes.
Ah, okay.
And scenario-based testing is more about simulating real user actions, like complex journeys through the app to find bugs or usability problems you might miss otherwise.
So the AI handles setting up and running those complex tests.
That's the idea, automating those more advanced scenarios to build more robust, more secure apps.
That proactive approach sounds incredibly valuable, finding problems before users do. And then there's the code documentation agent. We all know documentation is important, but often neglected.
Tell me about it. So yeah, this agent aims to help by letting you sort of chat with your code base.
Chat with your code.
Yeah, build a knowledge base from the code and then ask questions in natural language like, hey, what does this function do? And get an AI-generated explanation.
Okay, that could seriously speed up onboarding new team members or just understanding complex parts of the code later on.
Exactly. A big potential boost for team collaboration and just general understanding.
Now, these agents aren't only inside Firebase Studio, right? There's an app testing agent in app distribution too.
Yeah, this takes the AI testing idea further into the actual deployment pipeline.
How does that work?
It can simulate real user journeys. The example they gave was find a trip to Greece, and it actually navigates your app autonomously on real or virtual devices.
Oh.
And then it gives you visualized results, shows you where it went, what happened, makes it much easier to spot issues in a more realistic user flow.
Seeing that simulation and the visual results must give amazing insight into the actual user experience. Okay, so clearly AI is becoming core to the whole dev process with Firebase. Let's shift slightly. How are they helping developers actually build these next-gen AI experiences? Sounds like frameworks and SDKs are key.
That's right. They know integrating advanced AI can be tricky, so by providing solid frameworks and SDKs, they're handling some of that complexity.
Abstracting it away.
Yeah, letting developers focus more on the user experience, the cool features, rather than getting tangled up in the, low-level AI implementation details.
And GenKit seems central here. We've heard about it, but it's getting updates. Python support now. Enhanced Go.
Yeah, expanding the language is big. Python is huge in AI and data science, so bringing GenKit there opens it up massively.
Makes sense?
And better Go support is great for high-performance backends. GenKit's goal seems to be this unified way to build, test, monitor those more complex AI features.
Like what kind of features?
Things like getting structured output from models, making multiple AI models work together, orchestration, they call it, and even bringing humans into the loop for certain AI workflows.
Orchestrating multiple models. That sounds powerful. Using different models for what they're best at in one app.
Exactly. And GenKit isn't just for Google's models either.
Oh.
Nope, it connects to Google's Gemini, Imagen 3, sure, but also models like Llama, Mistral, through Vertex Model Garden. Or you can even plug in your own self-hosted models.
Yeah, that flexibility is really important.
Definitely. Gives developers choice.
And speaking of Vertex AI, that's getting updates that tie into Firebase too. Imagen 3 support and this new live API for Gemini.
Right. Imagen 3, that's for better image generation, which is great for visual apps.
Yeah.
But the live API for Gemini, that sounds really exciting. It enables these interactive, audio-driven experiences.
These interactions.
Yeah, think real-time voice conversations with your app, more natural interfaces. And it works across Android, iOS, Flutter, web.
Okay, that really opens up possibilities for more engaging, maybe more accessible apps too. Now, AI apps need data, right? Lots of it, usually. Sounds like Firebase is also boosting the data side with Firebase Data Connect and app hosting, both generally available now.
Yeah, GA is a big step. Shows they're ready for prime time. Let's start with Data Connect. The goal there is streamlining how your app talks to its data.
Hello?
One key thing is instantly creating GraphQL APIs over Google Cloud SQL for PostgreSQL.
GraphQL. So the app asks for exactly the data it needs.
Exactly. More efficient, less data flying around, potentially less back-end code needed just to fetch and shape data.
Sounds like a big win. And then there's Gemini-powered schema generation. What's that?
This is where AI helps again. Gemini can look at your data model and automatically generate the database structure, the schema, plus the GraphQL queries to access it.
Wow.
And even type-safe SDKs. That's like pre-written code to make it easy for your app, maybe your front end, to talk to that data correctly.
Okay, so it's generating a whole chunk of the data access layer for you.
Okay.
Automatic.
That's the promise. Dramatically speeding up the setup for data-driven apps.
That's pretty amazing automation. What else in Data Connect?
Well, more advanced querying stuff, too. Native aggregation for summarizing data easily.
Yeah.
Atomic modifications, robust transactions, making sure complex data changes happen reliably.
Important for data integrity.
Definitely. And for web devs, tighter integration with web frameworks using type-safe hooks and components makes building those fast, dynamic, data-heavy apps easier.
Right. Simplifies things for reactive UIs. Okay, now let's look at Firebase app hosting. Also GA, also improved. What's new there?
App hosting seems focused on making full-stack web app deployment smoother. The big thing is this Git-centric full-stack hosting.
Git-centric.
Yeah, you just push your code to GitHub, Firebase automatically builds it, deploys it to a global CDN for speed, and handles server-side rendering using Google Cloud infrastructure.
So a really streamlined deploy process, just push and go.
Pretty much, and they've improved the local development side too.
Oh yeah, better local emulation and debugging.
Easier to test locally on your machine. Clearer error messages when things go wrong. Should make debugging less painful.
Always welcome. And if things do go wrong after deployment, one-click rollbacks, That sounds like a lifesaver.
It's a crucial safety net, isn't it? Being able to instantly switch back to a previous working version from a dashboard minimizes downtime.
Absolutely. And one last thing, private cloud connectivity for connecting to back-end services in Google Cloud.
Yeah, that allows secure connections directly to your backend stuff, databases, services, running inside your Google Cloud VPC. Important for security and network isolation, especially for bigger companies.
Addresses a key enterprise need there.
Oh.
Okay, so wrapping this all up, it's really clear Firebase has made a major shift, hasn't it? Evolving into this, well, comprehensive AI application platform.
Definitely.
With Firebase Studio as that central flib, pulling together a really impressive suite of tools.
Exactly. The integration of AI across the whole lifecycle, from idea to coding, testing, deployment, that's the core change. It's about a more cohesive and efficient way to build these modern smart apps.
And the benefits for developers seem pretty clear. Streamlined workflows, faster releases,
Yeah.
and hopefully more time to actually focus on the innovative AI parts, not just the grunt work.
You can see it in things like that prototyping agent, the assisted coding, the simpler deployment. It's all geared towards efficiency, a smoother developer experience.
And ultimately, integrating these advanced AI models and features, it just unlocks the potential for much richer, more engaging experiences for the end users, doesn't it?
It really does. Feels like we're just scratching the surface of what's possible.
Yeah.
Which really leads to the big question for you listening, doesn't it? How might these new Firebase capabilities change the way you think about building your next app? What cool new AI-powered features could you actually build now that maybe felt too complex or out of reach before?
That's definitely something interesting to think about.